The court's verdict was unequivocal. Kanu's words and actions, broadcast far and wide, had kindled a flame of hatred and bloodshed in the southeastern region as he relentlessly pursued his dream of an independent Biafra state carved out from the heart of Nigeria. The judge's words dripped with gravity. According to him, Kanu's offences were tantamount to terrorism, his rhetoric and directives to his IPOB deputies constituting a toxic cocktail of hate and violence that had imperiled the very fabric of this country. As the courtroom listened raptly, Justice Omotosho spoke of the imperative of upholding the rule of law, safeguarding national security, and taking a resolute stance against separatist agitation and terrorism in all its forms. And then he delivered the coup de grace, life in prison, a sentence that left Mr. Kanu's supporters reeling in shock. The weight of the verdict and sentence was heavy as Mr. Kanu's lawyers vowed to appeal amid anguished cries of a travesty of justice. The stage now seems set for more protracted legal battles ahead. Well, that's in the future. They've got 90 days to appeal. For now, today's verdict and sentence have left many feeling distinctly queasy, to say the least.
The death penalty globally is now being frowned upon by the international community. Consequently, and in the interest of justice, I hereby sentence the convicts to life imprisonment for the said counts 1, 4, 5, and 6 instead of death sentence. Life is sacred to God. With respect to count 3, he is hereby sentenced to 20 years imprisonment without no option or fine.
And that's Justice Omotosho delivering his sentence earlier today. Well, as you know, Nnamdi Kanu earlier dismissed his legal team, and so it was left to Honourable Obi Aguocha, who represents Nnamdi Kanu's constituency in the National Assembly, to make a personal appeal for clemency on behalf of Mr. Kanu. And Honourable Obi Aguocha joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
How are you?
We're very grateful to you because I know it's been a ferociously long day.
It's been a long day today. Spent almost
the entire day.
The entire day in court.
Yeah, but your fastidiousness in sticking with your constituent is commendable.
Yes, I have to stay with him. Just like I said to the court, I represent him directly. We grew up together. I've told that story many times here. We grew up together in Umahi. We went to the same Library Avenue Primary School and Government College Umahi. He was my junior. We're junior, but he's my brother. And it is my responsibility as a member of the National Assembly who represents him to speak for him, whether right or wrong. And especially as it concerns to the administration of criminal justice and others in that gap. I felt I wasn't surprised with the judgment.
Let me put the question to you, because after many years of what you might call an attritional case against Mr. Kanu, the verdict came in and he was convicted on all 7 terrorism charges. What was your reaction to that verdict?
No, I expected it. I knew it was going to happen.
Why did you expect
Because of the insistence of the government, not even to listen to pleas, not willing to listen to many people, not just myself, trying to ask the government to intervene.
But those are two different things.
They were dismissive, they were insensitive to those pleas.
But aren't those two different things?
No, there are not two different things, because, up before now is Nnamdi Kanu. Who else before now has been convicted of terrorism charges in Nigeria?
No, what I'm saying is the case went through the court process.
The law, Charles, yeah, I also appreciate that the case went through the court process. Because Nnamdi has been on trial literally for 10 years. So now he's gone through the court process, but within the law says in section 174 of the Constitution also gives the president the latitude through the Attorney General to invoke a nolle prosequi
those
before
are two
determination of the case.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that they're two different things. I mean, what I'm talking about today is the legal process, not the political side of things, but the legal process where evidence had to be submitted in a court of law and it had to go through the process. I mean, what is your assessment? Because you were in court every day.
I was in court every day. There were certain things that they even came out today that I was hearing for the first time. And I was in court almost every time with the lawyers, with Nnamdi Kanu.
You mean what you were hearing the judge say?
As part of the judgment of the court.
Well, that's why there's an appeal process.
So yeah, but I'm happy now that before I left the courtroom, I spoke with the consultants who were previously lawyers to Nnamdi. And Nnamdi has also indicated that within the 90-day allowable, that he's going to appeal the judgment to the Court of Appeal. So the road is still long. So, but what I'm saying with that is to say to our people to remain calm and do not take the laws into their own hands and allow the court process to terminate where it should terminate back again to the Supreme Court. So that I don't want to see we wake up tomorrow morning and people are disrupting public services or people going about their businesses, trying to burn down houses and all those stuff. Those things are not necessary. What is necessary now is our prayers for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our prayers for his family, our prayers for Nigeria for that matter, and then our prayers for his legal team, so that God will give them the wisdom and courage to be able to put up an appellate brief that will now take to the appeal court and have the matter determined there.
And of course, you had to speak on his behalf today in court. I mean, live on television, everybody around the world watching you having to intercede because Nnamdi Kanu was removed from the court. He was ejected from the courtroom. And he had previously fired his lawyers, so he didn't really have any proper legal representation at that stage through his own sort of hand. The judge complained about how cocky and arrogant Nnamdi Kanu was throughout the duration of the case and even today. I mean, do you agree with his assessment?
No, I don't. I mean, if you have been put in solitary confinement for almost 10 years, Charles, you too will react in the same manner that Nnamdi Kanu reacted today. Yeah, it was unfortunate in certain quarters, but this is a man who's been pushed desperately to the wall. Haven't been given any opportunities to adequately defend himself. The judgment has come.
I don't understand what you mean by he wasn't given opportunities to adequately defend himself. I mean, he had lawyers, he fired them.
What facilities were he given to you? When you look at section 36 of the Constitution, where the Constitution makes it explicit what a defendant, the rights of a defendant in a criminal trial. Nnamdi was never given those opportunities. So the consultants may shed some more light there. There were times they were, they were not allowed even to have access to their client, to be able to have discussions with their client, know how to plan their defense. Those things were not there. It was one level of frustration to another. That was why I was saying, I kept screaming that time that the way that the manner that Nnamdi's case has been handled and the rush to judgment appears that there are two sets of rules. I keep saying that.
Right, but let me ask you this. Having seen that, because I do recall you mentioning the fact, and it was actually in the public sort of space, that sometimes his legal team had a challenge trying to see him.
Very difficult challenges
but
trying to see him.
Given that, how strange did it seem to you, and possibly in the annals of the law and legal jurisprudence, that Nnamdi Kanu himself then took it upon himself to fire his legal team.
Charles, also remember that as we talk, I'm not a lawyer.
No, I understand
I've never
that.
pretended to be one.
But what I'm saying is
fundamentally,
he was neither in court nor had any formal representation.
He has a right, fundamentally, to also, defend himself.
No, I understand that, but I'm asking you in your capacity.
But he couldn't have arrived at that decision without any legal advice.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm asking you because of all the people that I know beyond his lawyers, you were very close to him. You spoke to him, you saw him fairly regularly. And I wondered whether or not he communicated to you the idea behind firing his legal team.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I think even when I was here on the show previously, we talked about it. I said I was not aware. Most of us came to court that day shocked and surprised at his decision to debrief his lawyers. But he couldn't have arrived to that decision without also the lawyers giving him legal advice. And him being declined, deciding that it was in his best interest to defend himself. You know, if for the benefit of hindsight, if I had known then, I would have advised him otherwise to have his legal team in place. But if we note the rush to judgment, Charles, whether he had a defense team or not, they would have still arrived at the same conclusion.
Right. Anyway, the point is that, as they say, we are where we are. But you are one person who has stood with him. And I think many Nigerians will commend you for that.
Thank you.
But all this must have left you emotionally drained because, I mean, you've invested so much of your soul in this case. How do you feel now?
Well, what I did was not extraordinary. It's what every representative
ought to do. But doesn't always do.
But doesn't always do it. So it's not something for accolade or anything, but it's something that if you swore an oath to represent a certain group of people, that you have to be there in the gap to speak for them and advocate for them. You know, no matter how terrible the circumstances, it's your responsibility to be able to do that. A lot of people see just in Nnamdi Kanu. I've also advocated for people who have lost their jobs in various agencies and parastatals, who themselves were dismissed for about 8 years, 10 years, and whose jobs are being restored through our public petition process. That is also part of representation. But for me, representation means being out there in truth, not defending false allegations, but in truth to say, this is my constituent, that especially in the administration of criminal justice, there seems an appearance of an injustice. Please, can we look into this? And when that injustice also leads towards, is more intentional, to be able to say, okay, we're definitely going to get you. You know, we're going to get you. Well, can we seek a political solution, just like others have sought?
But yeah, but you still got room for a political solution.
I pray that we still do.
So that's something that you can still pursue. I mean, what
I'm saying, Charles,
right.
what I'm saying, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that many people are determined before the determination of their court cases. The government, entered an early prosecution on them. And the judgments, the trials never went to judgment.
Yeah.
So what was the rush to judgment? Because Nnamdi is in Nnamdi Kanu.
The point is that that judgment has been delivered. So we've got to move from here. I mean, as I said, you yourself have made a lot of sacrifices for Mr. Kanu.
My sacrifice was for the good of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
my constituent, it was for the good of my constituency, it was for the good of the Igbo race.
But is this the end of the road for you? Are you ready to bail out, or are you still fighting?
I'm staying till the last dog dies.
Right.
He's my constituent. And I will encourage him to continue to seek constitutional means, the legal process, to ensure that justice is also served.
And will you also caution him to check his temper, perhaps? I mean, it may seem like a trivial thing, but I mean, those kinds of things are in a very emotive situation.
It's a very emotional.
It can turn the tide of today, public opinion.
Even the judge today,
against him.
Yeah, but even the judge today, in his ruling, saw him as somebody who genuinely was also trying to help his people. When he talked about the Janjaweeds coming to the southeast to occupy our farms and all the stuff, that what he was actually trying to do was to defend his people. And I've always said that continuously, that Nnamdi Kanu's crime was about defending his people. And or yet, even seeking for right of determination. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And yet a lot of his people were killed in the process of this.
But nobody alive today, Charles, has come to a court of law to say, I took directives from Nnamdi Kanu to kill Aguocha.
Yeah, but
nobody has done that.
I don't know about what I was going to ask you in that context. Is, do you expect the security situation in the southeast to improve or worsen as a result of this verdict and sentence?
It's going to get worse, especially in this
Christmas time. Do you think there'll be a
time.
noticeable change of pace?
No, it's going to get worse, especially in this Christmas period now.
How so?
Because a lot of people who themselves are busy enjoying the economics of high crime and criminality and banditry and assassinations are themselves using Nnamdi Kanu's detention as a front, that because of Nnamdi Kanu is there, that we are doing that. What we had expected was that if we had sought a political solution, then with you remove Nnamdi Kanu as a factor, then all those who themselves are involved in high crime and criminality in the Southeast will be known. And then we will begin to round them up and have a peaceful and stable Southeast. But now, with the judgment, I don't want anybody to begin to think that with the judgment, now Nnamdi Kanu is jailed, then the Southeast is porous and open for external aggression or otherwise. No, it's not going to happen. We're still going to defend our farmlands. We're still going to defend our women, our children. We're still going to defend our institutions, and we're also going to defend our homeland. And by extension, defending the homeland of the Nigerian people. So, Southeast is a wake-up call for all of us now, for those in government to come together with the traditional institutions, with the business institutions, the clergy, and all of us. What is it that we want as a Southeast, and what are the next steps coming out from the conviction of Nnamdi Kanu?
Before I let you go, I don't know if you're aware of it, but Nnamdi Kanu's conviction was today mentioned in the U.S. congressional hearing on Nigeria, and it was described by one of the congressmen as a travesty of justice.
It is.
Are you encouraged by that as his legal team prepares to go on appeal?
It is a travesty of justice. I mean, not that if we say it, the heavens will fall. It is a travesty of justice.
No, what I'm saying is that given that it came from the U.S. Congress.
Absolutely. There was a rush to judgment. We knew that. That's why when you said to me, was I shocked about the conviction? I said, no. Right. I expected it. There was nothing, whether we put up a defense or we didn't put up a defense, they would have arrived at the same conclusion. But we ought to have to be circumspect, Charles. The international community are watching us in very multifaceted ways, looking at Christians, the genocide and extrajudicial killings of Christians, and the continued detention and trial, which has ended today, of Nnamdi Kanu. The international community are adamantly looking at it, and for me too, it was a travesty of justice.
Right.
But justice is not lost. So all I'm saying to our people is that wherever you are tonight, yes, I understand the sentimental and emotional turmoil that are going on all sides on this politically charged trial. But please remain calm.
Okay.
Remain calm and go about your businesses. And do not destroy your properties, because I don't see people who are going to destroy other people. It's still your properties. If you're destroying them in the Southeast, it's our properties. But at the end of the day, God is God, and Nnamdi Kanu, through the appellate court, will receive the reprieve that he so seeks.
On that note, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Honourable Obi Aguocha represents Nnamdi Kanu's constituency in the National Assembly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
I forgot
Your cap.
My cap. I
I
feel like a naked chief.
Don't worry, it's a good thing to finally see your hair.
Thank you.